As you can see, the park is under construction, and they're also filming a television show on the other side of that baseball field. So yeah, normally when I film over here is where I usually normally film anyway. And as we film, we'll go up to the stairs where we can be further out of the producers and directors and screenwriters way. That's my world. Just so you know, I love filmmaking. I love television / film productions. And I took a whole bunch of them in college. And everybody knows, had I been in college a lot longer, I would have took 6 television production classes. In any case, 3's good, 6 would have been much better. And then I would have had a job doing that. And who knows, maybe in another 2 years, I could have a job doing that since I'm obsessed with filmmaking. It's the only thing that gets me out of trouble when I see nice, hot, attractive women at the Grove. Now, this YouTube video is going to be for men who want an answer to traveling. So this will probably be part 1 of men's road trip. What do you do when certain things don't go according to plan? Now, this is for men from the ages of 18 to 35. Because you got some men in their 20s that go on road trips. You got some men in their early 30s, late 30s that go on road trips. Don't let nobody tell you that you're too old to go on the road and get a passport. Now, in part 1 of my video, we're going to be talking about traveling around the city and states, which places to go to, and then in part 2 we'll talk about the more controversial places outside the United States, because there's some people on YouTube who likes to call himself the passport police. I won't say any names, but he knows who he is, because he thinks there's something wrong with you getting a passport and going outside your area code when he should sit down and mind his business and stop trying to tell somebody else what to do. I mean, seriously. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get to it. Now, here's the thing with being in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a very popular city. Everybody and their mama loves to come to the city of Los Angeles. We have everything in Los Angeles. We have the stars. We have actors in Hollywood. We got television. We got film. We've got news. We got media. We've got the best, well, it's debatable, but some believe we have the best high schools and the best colleges. And everybody around the world likes to come to Los Angeles because we're the land of opportunity. Whatever job or career you want, Los Angeles is right where you're at. It's a tourist attraction. We've got Santa Monica, we've got Beverly Hills, we've got Hollywood, and everybody wants to be here. The Grove, everybody wants to be here. Now, for men that were born and raised in Los Angeles, you're born here and you've been living here for years, you might notice there is a shift when it comes to sex and dating. You might notice that it's hard for you to physically, sexually attract women, and it might be hard for you to compete in a competitive market. For an example, you might have tried to go to the nightclubs and the bars for years in Los Angeles, and you got to compete with the basketball players, the football players, the baseball players. You got to compete with the actors in television and film. There's the executive film producer. There's the film director, the executive music producer. You know, there's the doctors, there's the lawyers, there's the police. You got to compete with all these men to get beautiful, attractive women from the age of 18 to 29. And you find yourself in a situation where you're only forced to date women that have hit the wall at stage 1 and stage 2. You find yourself taking women out to lunch and dinner that's in their 40s, their 50s, and their 60s. And you don't find those women physically, sexually attractive a lot of times. But those are the only women that say yes to you taking them out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee. Now, this video is for black men, white men, and Latino men, and Asian and Indian men that are sexually frustrated, that want an answer to their problem. Now, Los Angeles is just a city. California is the state. California is very, very big. A lot of people do not realize until they get out of Los Angeles just how really big California really is. California is so big that it's hard for you to experience everything and see everything. You have to get out of the city and travel around the state to see how big it is. So the first thing on my list on men's road trip, I would probably say, is San Diego. Now, I've been to San Diego twice. You know, you've got Comic-Con. You know, again, you're going to see television and film. You're going to see actors. You're going to see people from your favorite television shows, your favorite movies, web series. And then, of course, they have sports. You know, they had a football team called the San Diego Chargers, but they moved back to Los Angeles. Of course, they have a baseball team in San Diego. And they do have a college basketball and college football team. Now, San Diego is one of the places you should go to and visit. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you should go to San Diego. The women are physically, sexually attractive. For men who say, I can't find no fine-ass white women, there are some fine-ass white women in San Diego. And these white women are bad to the bone. I mean, these white women eat their fruits and vegetables. They drink lots of water. They exercise. They work out. They go to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. They stay in athletic shape. They play physical contact sports. You got girls in San Diego that will play basketball, that will play baseball, that will do boxing and mixed martial arts. You have white girls that will ride their bicycle, that will skateboard. So San Diego is a good place to go at. There's nightclubs and bars in San Diego. There's Comic-Con. And the best part about it is that if you're just trying to, and this video's made for men, so if any females watch this video and you get a little uncomfortable, it's because it's for men. I'm going to try to keep it as PG as I possibly can keep it, okay? And that is, there are lots of white girls and black women and Mexican women in San Diego that are sluts. They may not look like sluts. They may not look like the sluts that you see in the movies and television shows, but they are sluts. In the daytime, she's the girl that you see in high school. Well, we're not going to even go with high school. We're going to go with college. You see her at a junior college, or you see her at work. She looks like the normal, typical black girl, white girl, or Mexican girl here in Los Angeles. In the daytime, she a nice, good little girl, and as soon as it turned nightfall, she transforms into someone else that's unrecognizable. So if you're one of those guys that are just sexually frustrated, San Diego's where you go. Every woman, well, I won't say every woman, but the vast majority will cheat on their husband and on their boyfriend. Trust me, they will do it. They find out you're physically, sexually attractive from a scale from 1 to 10. If you're at least a 6 or a 7 and looks, you don't have to be an 8, don't have to be a 9, you don't have to be a 10, but if you're a 6 or 7 out of looks, or possibly an 8, the women in San Diego will actually be open to the idea of you taking them out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee. And the only way you can mess that up is if you're a creep or a weirdo, or they just don't find you physically, sexually attractive. And the good thing about it is it helps focus on your social skills. So if you're just terrible at talking to women, San Diego, the women will teach you how to talk. They'll show you how to conversate. You know, they'll get you in a nice, comfortable groove and get you to, I don't want to say be yourself, but they'll help you be more direct in talking. So when you come back to Los Angeles, not only you know how to talk socially, you're not going to have no anxiety. You're not going to be having panic attacks. You're not going to be going, oh my God, I don't know how to talk. So the black women out there are fun. The black women out there ride bicycles. They do boxing and mixed martial arts, and they work out. So whatever you complain about in Los Angeles, it's the complete opposite in San Diego. Now, you still got some women out there that are still going to be, unfortunately, stuck on looks, money, and status. But it's not as it's not as turned up than it is here in Los Angeles. San Diego, you have options. You know, you can stop by Oceanside and see white girls and black girls surfing. You may not see it here in Los Angeles, but you go to San Diego or Oceanside, you're going to see black girls surfing. And you're going to be like, black women surfing? What? Is this a movie? Is it television? There'd be some black girls that be surfing. There'd be some white girls that be surfing on that surfboard. And if you surf, oh, it's easy for you to get them phone numbers. I'm just trying to help you guys out. I'm just trying to put you guys up on that real game that them pickup artists and dating coaches don't ever tell you. That's just one part of California. Now, I put Oceanside there because that's like a stop before San Diego. So anyone who knows surfing knows about Oceanside, California. There's like at least 3 locations in California if you're a surf head and all you do is surf the world. You know there's 3 locations in California if you know how to surf. Oceanside's just one place in California. But San Diego, you looking for sluts? Oh, you will find you some sluts. And you know what the rules are on road trips, right, fellas? There isn't too many rules on road trips. Rule number 1, have looks, money, and status. Rule number 2, be in athletic shape. And rule number 3, just learn how to talk socially, and the rest will take care of itself. You can follow those simple 3 rules, you'll be perfectly just fine. Now let's move on to the second city and state that you can finally score. I'm gonna say New York City. Now, I had a friend that used to be my next door neighbor, but he moved out of Los Angeles because the rent for your house and your apartments are too expensive. So he moved to Las Vegas because he loves the Oakland Raiders football team. And he decided, you know what, I don't want to be in Los Angeles. He was in Los Angeles for about 17, 18 years. For like almost 20 years, he lived in Los Angeles. He has a daughter that travels back and forth between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, so he still comes back and forth between Las Vegas and Los Angeles. But he told me he went to New York City a total of 3 times. The first time he went to New York City, it was to play in an international hockey league tournament. The second time he went, it was like 5 years later, and he told me some of the beautiful women in New York City will make some of the women here in Los Angeles look like nothing. He told me, if you like white women, oh, go to New York City. You're going to see some white women that'll blow your mind. And I'm like, I ain't never been to New York City. He's like, you don't know what you're missing. He was just one person. So I would say that's one place you can go to is New York City. Now, I would probably put right at number 3 is New Jersey. When I was a loss prevention security guard here at the Grove, there was this fine-ass white girl that was like 18, 19 years old, and she was from New Jersey, and she was visiting Los Angeles because she has, I think, either a cousin or an aunt that lives in Los Angeles, and she thought it was cute, and she looked at me because she was with her girlfriends on a girls trip, and I already made a YouTube video called Girls Road Trip. And guess what? In that video, I told you that if they're from them cities, they're gonna come to the cities. You already know what it's gonna be. And she told me, you got to come to New Jersey. So I've heard you need to come to New York City, you need to come to New Jersey. So those are 2 places that I'm gonna go hit up in the future. So when I get me a better stable job, because the job that I got in Santa Monica is unstable. Like 1 minute I work 2 times a week, then the next minute you work 1 time a week. 1 minute I'm scheduled to work, the next minute I'm not scheduled to work. So when I get me a better, more secure, more stable job, somewhere around 2022, somewhere around in 2024, I might go to New York City. I might go to New Jersey and see what's out there. So that's why I'm putting them on the list. Coming in at number 4, I would probably say, if you're going to go down south, St. Louis. I think that's one place you can go visit. My friend, Dr. Zachary, that you all know on YouTube, he has family in St. Louis. And he told me the black women out in St. Louis will make some of the black women here in LA, you know, like amateurs. Like, they're built different. Like, they're actually built like how a black woman should be built, which that's debatable. So moving in at number 5 on the list, I would probably say, and this one I'm putting on the list because it's I've heard of this one and I've never been, and people told me you don't know what you're missing. Miami. Now you might say, then you put that on the list for women? Yes, man, I'm putting it on the list for men. There are some men that I hung out with in college told me that it be on and popping in Miami. And that's where the brothers get their passport. They leave Miami, they go to Panama City, they leave Panama City, and they go to Costa Rica and Puerto Rico. So when I make part 2 of the video, I'm going to go into full depth on why those places are good. So I'll mention Costa Rica, I'll mention Puerto Rico, and then I'll mention, I already told you about Brazil, and things of that nature, and I already made a video about it. But I'm talking about some of the other countries that I've never made into a video. So this is only part 1 of the video. But the whole point is, if you go to San Diego, if you go to Oceanside, which you can say that's a bonus, you go to New York, you go to New Jersey, you go to St. Louis, you go to Miami, you go to those places that are named off, you will be able to get white women or black women or Mexican women where in your home city and state you can't get them. Now, the reason why I said there's only 3 rules to follow: 1, you just got to have looks, money, and status, and 2, you got to be in athletic shape, and 3, you got to know how to talk, is because if you can just follow those 3 rules, you will get 80 to 85% of attention. Now, of course, if you ain't got no car and you already have your driver's license, you can just rent a car and they'll just think you have a car. Usually when you go to other cities and places and you don't know people, you'll be good. So I guess I'll put at number 8, Las Vegas. Now, I'm going to tell you why I love Las Vegas. I've gone to Las Vegas 3 times. And if I go back to Las Vegas, I'm going to go back to Las Vegas because the Oakland Raiders are going to Las Vegas. Now, whenever I go to Las Vegas, I always get a lot of attention from a lot of white women, a lot of black women. I get a lot of attention from women that are not from Los Angeles, California. So when I leave the city and state and I go to Las Vegas, I get about 80 to 85% attention. And it don't matter if it's young women, older women, young white women, older white women. It could be an older black woman or it could be a younger black woman. But when I go to Las Vegas, I get 80 to 85% of the attention. Now, you should know the rules when you go on a men's road trip. Those are those 3 rules. Rule number 4 is it doesn't matter what you do in Las Vegas. What you can't do in Los Angeles, California, you can do in other cities and states. And what you can't do in other cities and states, that's what Las Vegas is for. Now, out there is where guys break all the rules. Here, you would never catch a high status, high value man that is physically, sexually attractive. You would never see him have sex with a fat white woman or fat black woman or fat Mexican woman that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds. They go to Las Vegas for that. I'm just trying to tell you that, the urgency. Here, a guy who's in his 20s or 30s, he would never ask out a woman that's 50 or 60 or even 70 years old in his home city and state. You go to Las Vegas, you will catch guys that you went to high school and college with 10, 15, 20 years later in Las Vegas, and what do you see? You'll see a guy taking out a woman that's 50 or 60 or 70 years old out to lunch and dinner or for a cup of coffee in Las Vegas, and no one's going to be whining or complaining because it's practically normal. They're going to look at it as you're both adults, you're both the legal age, you can smoke, you can drink, you can party, because it's Las Vegas. You know the saying, what's in Vegas stays in Vegas. You've got sports, you've got basketball, well, not yet, you got football, you got hockey, you got mixed martial arts, you have boxing, you have gambling in Las Vegas, and you have swingers in Las Vegas. Yes, you have BDMS in Las Vegas. You have legal prostitution in Las Vegas. And a lot of men go to Las Vegas doing summer vacation. Summer vacation or spring vacation, those are the two times men in their 20s, and their 30s, and their 40s will go to Las Vegas. Here in Los Angeles, California, you will never catch any black man or any white man have sex with a fat white woman or fat Mexican woman that's 200 pounds, 300 pounds, 400 pounds, but he will do it in Las Vegas. Las Vegas, you can kind of break all the rules. Here, you might be reluctant to do that because, you know, they'll put you under a microscope. They'll complain and say, why are you lowering your standards? Out in Las Vegas, you can actually mess with women that are average and below average and don't feel guilty for it. You don't have to face no constructive criticism whatsoever. You can mess with a woman that's 50 or 60 or 70 years old in Las Vegas because it's a men's road trip, and no one's going to be looking at you like there's something wrong with you. Like here in California, they'll probably, you know, look at you like you need to be locked up in the straitjacket and throw away the keys because of your behavior. Las Vegas, everyone goes to Las Vegas. You have men that go on men's road trip to Las Vegas. You got women who go on a woman's road trip to Las Vegas. You know, somebody might graduate from college. Somebody might get a new job promotion. They might want to celebrate. I got a house or an apartment or a car. And the first thing they're thinking about on their mind is, I want to celebrate in Las Vegas. I want to celebrate in Miami. And that's where they go to have fun entertainment. And when these guys go to Las Vegas, they actually can be themselves. They can be free and not have to worry about constructive criticism. They don't have to be told you're lowering your standards. I'm telling you, I've seen it. If you like golf girls, I've seen guys talk to black golf girls, white golf girls, Mexican golf girls, and there's no constructive criticism. The guys can be themselves. The girls can be themselves. People who can't smoke and drink, they go to Las Vegas because they like to smoke and drink. Here, you may not be able to gamble. You go over there, you can gamble. You can be free. You can have 3 days or 4 days or a 5-day vacation, and you can be yourself. And then when you come back to the state, you come back to, you know, the conditions or whatever it is, and you don't have to be that mad, angry man who keeps getting rejected by women. Now, some people might say that that's being a punk. Why you got to go on these road trips? Why can't you just stick it out here in your city and state? Well, it's like this. It's not normal for any man to go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, sexually frustrated. It's not normal. It's not normal for a woman to go 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, sexually frustrated. So think of a road trip as a chance for you to see new cities and new states and explore. Because when you do get into a relationship and you get married and you have kids, you're not going to get the luxury to go on road trips because you're going to be married, you're going to have kids. It could be 5 years later, it could be 10, 15, or 20 years later that you go on a road trip. That's when the wife starts calling your phone and starts going, are you okay? You're not cheating on me. You're not talking to other girls, are you? So you should have fun now. And then when the time comes, you can get into a family. I'm just trying to explain to you that when you are on a road trip, it's with a bunch of guys. It's to have fun. Women go on road trips, they have fun. They don't even think about what's back at home. The man, when he goes on a road trip, he don't think about what's back at home. You take pictures with your friends. You know, you might pull a couple of pranks. You might drink some beers. You might watch professional wrestling or boxing or martial arts, depending on what city and state that you go on a men's road trip. Part 2, I'm going to talk about international waters. Why they make it so controversial with the player hate. Why they player hate when someone's trying to go outside their city and state and go outside the United States. But these are the places that men go to when they want to have fun. Trust me, you'd be surprised what you see in Las Vegas. That's why they have that old saying, what's in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. You don't come back from Vegas 3 days later or 5 days later on your 3-day or 5-day vacation and say, hey, guess what I saw? You keep that a secret. Because somebody might have lunch, somebody might have dinner, somebody might spit out their water, somebody might spit out their Coca-Cola, and might have to run to the restroom and say, dude, that's inappropriate, that's disgusting, don't even bring it up. You know, and it'll be 5 years later, 10 years later before you can even bring up that discussion. So what's in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. In almost every city and state, you have women that are Miss Promiscuous, that got the tattoos, the piercings, and you got some men that are sexually frustrated, and you got some women in these cities and states that are sexually frustrated. So everybody faces the same problem. The reason why I'm making a men's road trip video is because I don't want nobody coming to my comment section and saying, you made one for the women 5 months ago. What about the brothers? What about the fellas? So this video is if you're a black man, a white man, or a Mexican man, or if you're Asian or Indian and you're from the ages of 18 to 35, and I'm gonna probably put down 40. So we're gonna put 18 to 40, because I don't want no one that's 40 years old say, hey man, what about me? I'm 40. So, you know, I'm pretty much putting that down. You know, so this video is basically to explain and to examine that women go on road trips and so do men go on road trips. And if someone think you're a punk because you can't compete in your city and state, they're delusional. Because if you don't go on road trips in your 20s, you're going to do it in your 30s. You don't do it in your 20s and 30s, you're going to end up doing it in your 40s. So this video is for you. So it should be a fun, exciting video. This is only part 1. Maybe Friday or Sunday when the schedule's not crazy, because I got a lot of job interviews coming up within the month. And depending on when they put these job interviews on, there might be on days where I can't give you the video. You know, so I hope this video makes you understand. This is only part 1. Part 2 is where I'm going to explain when black men and white men get attacked for getting a passport and wanting to go out of the country. I mean, I'm just trying to tell you, this is the first stage of you traveling outside the United States. It's a hot topic on the internet because everyone keeps making YouTube videos about it. So I thought, you know what, let me explain what is the good and what is the bad of road tripping. You know, you got some places where if you get caught driving under the influence, they might arrest you and you may not be able to get out of jail fast enough. You know, you might find yourself in jail for 3 days, got to see a judge, and when you come back to Los Angeles, you got to go to rehab or something. So there are some good stuff and there are some bad stuff on road trips, but the more controversial stuff is when you go to places like Brazil, when you go to China, Japan. So that's where I'm gonna get into more of that type of stuff. Peace.